Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to cover how to start your own notary signing service and should you even bother. Now, if you love great notary signing agent content, please do us a wonderful favor and subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate it. That way we can continue to make more content to help feed your family and leave a legacy. Now, on today's episode, I get this question a lot. Should I start a signing service? Should I just farm some out? We're going to cover all that in great detail. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 3 bonuses to increase your profit for the signing service. So please stick around to the end for that. Now, let's get started. Number 1, pick your platform. So there are a few different platforms out there to choose from so you can find these notaries. Now, it's possible to not use a platform at first, but that creates an incredibly manual process you do not want. So you could go to signingagent.com, which is the NNA's signing agent database of people that have taken their training. But again, it's a limited amount of notaries that have taken that training. Number 1, and you're manually looking these people up, and it's going to take a lot of time, versus a platform will leverage the ability to reach tens of thousands of notaries, depending on the platform, quickly, efficiently, and within minutes have a well-qualified, vetted notary doing your closing, versus hours, potentially, depending on if it's a really remote closing and you're calling people, leaving voicemails, sending text messages, not getting a response. That's a nightmare. Trust me, you don't want, and it's going to limit your growth. So you want to pick a platform that works best for you. The nice thing about platforms is, besides that leverage of reaching out to notaries you're trying to get in contact with, you also can market it as a secure platform, which they all are. So you can have documents uploaded by your clients or uploaded by your notaries to the platform instead of sending it via email, which is obviously way less safe. And we're talking about sensitive information for signers, so we want to make sure that is all guarded. Now, which platform to pick? Good question. So I'll give you a few options. Number 1, there is Signing Order. Now, Signing Order I can speak to the most because I have used Signing Order for years. You can do a lot of things. I get good support from both the owner and the technical support, and there's just a lot of things I like about it that makes my life so much easier, my team's life easier, and it's much more efficient to use personally. Now, another platform you can use is Notary Dash. Now, Notary Dash is based out of, I believe, Washington State, owned by Jennifer Garland, West Coast, and it has very similar functionality to Signing Order, slightly different, but very close. And then another platform you could use would be, it's a newer platform. It's called CloseWise, Close, C-L-O-S-E, Wise, W-I-S-E.com. Newer platform. The nice thing is, because they're newer, the pricing is much more competitive compared to Signing Order and Notary Dash as far as the fees that they charge. And it has a lot more bells and whistles from a technical aspect because that is really their focus and expertise. Won't get too deep into it. For all 3 platforms, what I would suggest, or any platform that you're thinking about, you can request a demo and you'll email them based on, just go to their website, notarydash.com, signingorder.com, closewise.com, request a demo, and they will schedule that with you, coordinate, and they will walk you through the platform, and you can choose for yourself what you like the look of, what you like the functionality the best, pricing, what makes the most sense. But pick a platform that works for you because it will make your life that much more efficient. So choose your platform wisely, but use a platform. It will help you save a ton of time. Next, E&O insurance. So you already have E&O insurance if you're a notary signing agent watching this video. That covers you specifically. What you need is errors and omissions insurance that will not only cover you if you happen to do closing under the umbrella of your signing service, but all of the other 1099 notary contractors doing closings under that same umbrella. So if any of those contractors, has a check for a buyer and goes to Vegas with it, you need coverage that's going to cover you for that. Or if they misplace the check. But the point is, if checks are lost, if documents are delayed because of the actions of your 1099 notaries, missing FedEx or UPS cutoffs, which may cause further, infractions and costs to the borrowers, maybe they have a rate lock that they have to relock in, which costs thousands of dollars. Maybe someone didn't close in the house on time, so now they're in a hotel for a weekend. So you want E&O coverage that will cover all of your 1099 notaries underneath you. And as far as the level of policy, you want to have, I would suggest, at least $1 million, depending on where you're based out of. If you're West Coast, California specifically, probably a little bit more than $1 million, maybe a few million. But you want to talk with your insurance provider and really talk about what you guys do and what specific coverages you want, and then verify that those coverages are in the detailed policy. So just make sure you're covered on all bases. Next, you're going to want to have a business email specifically to your signing service. Now, you may already have this covered if your notary signing agent email and name is the same as your signing service business name, then you're good to go. There's no step that you need to do. But if you're transitioning and your signing service has a different name than you as a notary signing agent have been operating operating under, you want to have a professional email. That way you can send those emails from the signing service to your clients. So for example, my signing service is called Superlative Signings. So my email specifically is brad@superlativesignings.com. But we also have a team email, team@superlativesignings.com. And our individual team members, Craig, Ethan, Ashley, Kendra, all have their own individual emails at superlativesignings.com. So the point is, you want to go to Gmail, get a business account, Google, I think it costs, I don't know, it might be $30 a month. It's very inexpensive to get a professional email that matches your signing service's name.com and can have individual users for your team as you're thinking of growing. Because you also want to keep that in mind. Think about the end in mind when you're starting the business. If your end goal is to have this just be a one-stop shop and you're doing all the work and it's just supplementing your income, then you don't have to worry about it as much. But if your end goal is to make it more passive, to build and grow a team, you want to think about these things as you're making these decisions, because if you don't, what will happen is down the line, you will kind of constrain your growth because you didn't think about, oh, well, in a year or two, I may have 5 team members or 10 team members or 20 team members. So keep that all in mind as you're making these decisions. Next, set it up. Now, this is going to take a little bit of time because you have to customize all of the emails that are going to be sent out to both your clients and to the notaries. So this is going to take a while, especially if you're trying to set up great systems and you want to be detailed. This will take quite a bit of time. My suggestion would be at least a couple days to knock this out. And it can be done faster, but you're going to come back and revisit these emails and update them constantly anyway, but you want to get a good base going. So the platforms, at least Signing Order, will have, and I'm sure the other platforms as well, will have default templates for all of these different types of emails, and you can add additional emails as well, customized to whatever you want, and program them to be sent whenever you want, which I love. So you'll have that ability, and you'll have defaults, but you'll start to customize them for the language that you want. And especially the emails that are going out to the notaries, I'm sure you'll definitely want to customize them for your special instructions, your desires, your wants, your requirements of your closer. So once you get the emails set up and customized the way you want them, then you also want to create a signing instructions document. So this is going to be a general signing instructions document for all of your closers, for all of your clients. Try to keep it as brief as you can. Ideally, you don't want to have a 30-page signing instructions because no one wants to print that out, honestly, as a notary, and they're not going to read 30 pages of instructions. It's highly unlikely. So you want to have it condensed, and the most important things in those signing instructions to include with your documents so that they have important information like the phone number of your signing service, which your business phone number if you have one, or your personal cell, or both. And so you definitely want that in there so when there are problems at the table, they can call you directly and they know how to do it because it's on page 1 in big bold numbers. Here's my phone number, call me if there are any issues, or call our team if there are any issues. So you want signing instructions in there for your notaries for your specific instructions. Now, each of your clients may have different requirements for their documents. Like we have a couple different clients that want all their documents printed on letter page only, no legal pages. So we have client-specific signing instructions. So it's our normal instructions and then one other nuance or two included with that client. So you will have to create those as well. The nice thing is once you create the signing instructions for your clients, the ones that have specific, one-off requirements, and your general instructions, as you're adding your new clients in, you can attach the signing instructions to their client profile so that when they create an order, it automatically populates into the order. You don't have to add it in afterwards, which is nice. Again, customizable. That's one of the reasons I like Signing Order. So great. Now you've got all of your things set up and you're ready to rock and roll. Now you've done the demo of how to actually schedule an order. Now you have to actually put it into practice. But before you do that, you're going to want to pick who you're going to be your first signing service guinea pig client. So this should be someone that you have a really tight relationship with, because just like any new skill, imagine when you were a notary signing agent at the beginning, you sucked. As a signing service owner at the beginning, you're going to suck, okay? Now, not as bad because you have all that experience of being a notary signing agent, but it's a totally different skill set because you're learning how to hire and vet notaries. Now, if you've hired people before, that's going to help you a ton with this skill. But if you've never hired someone before, you're going to not be great at it. And it's going to be a process you're going to learn the hard way, and that's okay. That's why you're starting out with one client who you're real tight with and is willing to try you out, so that when you're making these mistakes with that one client and learning from them and getting better, they're willing to roll with you because they know the type of person you are. You're always going to do right by them. And if there's screw ups, they know you're going to make it right and eat the fee. And obviously, because that's not what they paid for. So pick one client and roll with them to get started. And then start trying the platform out and creating the orders and looking for notaries. Now, as far as looking for notaries, I'm not going to get too deep in this, but you have to choose what's important to you. For me, there are default checkbox filters that you can pick and have that as your default saved notary search. So for us, I'm looking for notaries that are obviously commission notaries. If they're in Maryland, they have to be Maryland title producers. Same thing as Indiana. They have to have E&O insurance, a background check. They have to have a profile photo. I need to see it because I can see what they look like. And they also have to not be blacklisted. And then we also require that they be NNA certified and loan signing system certified. Now, that's not every closer we work with, but that is important to us because it shows that they're investing in themselves. Point being, each platform will have filters you can choose and save as your default search. So exactly the type of notary you're looking for, you can check all those boxes, save it, and that's your default search. So you'll only see notaries that check all of those boxes. Now, you can also sort on signing order, at least by distance or experience. So you can choose 25 miles out as your default search or 50 miles out. And then the list will be created and it can be sorted by who's closest to them or who's the most experienced. Now, I personally defer to experience versus proximity. Other people do the other way, whatever makes you happy. And then lastly, on signing order, you'll have your preferred notaries. They'll show up in blue at the top, very top of the list, sorted by experience. Now, you will want to cultivate that preferred list. The more trusted people you can get on that preferred list, the better, because it will make your job so much easier to have people you can constantly rely on. So part of your process as you're starting and growing your signing service and you have teams is that you're going to want to, on a weekly basis, update your preferred list. In other words, go back through the closings for the prior week. The people that did a great job, add them to your favorites list or your preferred list, leave them a positive review. That way you can default to them, sending them the orders first versus everyone else. The other thing you can set up as far as systems and automation on signing order is you can actually have notaries auto assigned and orders auto texting. So in other words, once the order is created, you can have it set up where as soon as the order is created by your client, or if you're manually doing it, it comes in, automatically starts texting that list in order, the way you have it sorted. And if you want, you can also have it auto assigned to your preferred notaries. So if any of your preferred notaries on that list, the blue notaries, say, yes, I'm available, it will auto assign them to that closing. So it really will automate your process. This will come in handy as you're growing and scaling your business. Every second for every closing will start to add up. So anywhere you can add efficiency to save time will help you. Okay, great. You are well on your way to starting your signing service. You've got your one client, you've gotten some orders under your belt. And what you're experiencing as the notaries are hopefully confirming the appointment in time or not, or doing a great job or not, completing the documents perfectly or not, you're finding out that there are a lot of chinks in your armor, errors that they're making or that you're making in your hiring process and their standards. And as you're going through this process of each transaction and there's going to be issues, take them all as a learning opportunity, because at the beginning, there's going to be a lot of issues. That is normal. I don't want to sugarcoat this. At the beginning, your first 100 closings are going to be the worst because there's so many things that will happen that you will not expect to happen, okay? Take it from me. But if you use them as opportunities after you're done being frustrated, you use them as opportunities to get better and put in systems in place to make sure they never happen again, what will happen is you will level up really, really, really quickly, and you'll get that much better. You'll get that much more efficient. You'll be working with better notaries and your results will get so much better. But if you don't focus on improving your results based on the past errors, you're just going to continue to make the same errors. So you have to constantly update and put systems in place. What do I mean by systems? I mean, you already have those emails going out. Maybe there's lapse in the signing instructions to notaries that you're missing. You can also update when emails are going out. So like for me, our company, we will send out an email to confirm or to remind the notary to confirm the appointment. If it's been 2 hours and they haven't confirmed already, we will send them a reminder email. If the signing was at 5 o'clock and it's now 7 p.m., 2 hours later, we have an auto email that goes out that says, hey, we didn't get your notary completion report. Can you please update the closing to let us know what happened? Did it close or not on time with details, etc. So you can customize and update your settings to get better over time. But just spoiler alert, it's going to suck at the beginning. It's okay. Take it for what it's worth. It's a learning process. So you're getting paid to learn, which is even better. All right, next up. As you're doing these things, you're hiring notaries, you're scheduling orders. These are all valuable skills that you're going to want to record you doing. Why? Because when you hire your first scheduler, you're going to have to train them. Now you can train them manually one-on-one, which is going to take a lot of time, or you can accelerate that training by by recording yourself doing these different tasks in mini videos, 1 minute to 5 minute videos. Keep it short, so the attention span is low for most of us now. So keep your videos short on these different tasks that it requires. Reviewing scan backs, all these different nuances of what you're gonna do. Have them screen recorded, save them in a Google Drive for your team. And that way, when you hire those employees, not only your first scheduler, but your 50th scheduler, those videos are in there. You can always add to them and update them over time, but that will save you a ton of time when you're going through that training process. So you're not spending all of your time training them from start to finish. So that will save you a ton. You're welcome. And as far as schedulers are concerned, yes, you're going to want to bring them on. Most signing service owners you talk to, if you ask them what one of their regrets is that they didn't bring on a scheduler sooner because they were trying to keep all the money for themselves. The problem is you can't scale just as you as the only scheduler. It's just not possible. Like, there's a point where one person can schedule, maybe 20, 25 closings a day, and they are maxed out. Especially if you're doing scan backs on all the files like we do, like that's a lot, and you will be maxed out. You'll have no time left to grow your business and market. You're just going to be stuck as a worker bee, and that's not the way to grow your business. You need to buy your time back by hiring people, training them up, giving them a good compensation, and letting them do the job so you can buy back your time to grow your business. So that's what you want to be focusing on. You want to be focusing on the long term. I want to put schedulers in place. Maybe I want to put salespeople in place. Maybe I want to put an operations manager in place once we get big enough so that you can buy back your time and grow the business. But you cannot grow a business to a large scale by doing it all yourself. It's not possible. You have to be comfortable with the concept that if you can hire someone that can do it 80% as good as you, that is good enough. Okay. You can always email me or DM me about how I compensate my team, and I can share not specifics, but in generalities, how we do profit sharing, bonuses, and commissions and things like that. So feel free to DM me on that. So we have covered a ton. Now we're going to get into the bonuses, bonus time to increase your profit. Number one, pricing. You have to figure out from a pricing standpoint what your fee should be for your signing service to realize the profit you're looking for. Now, as a signing agent, their gross profit is very high. It's 80, 90%. But as a signing service, you're now the middleman. You have to pay a notary. So pricing is so critical, because keep this in mind, keep the end in mind. When I started, I was thinking pricing based on, as a signing agent, I kind of priced it like, okay, great. I'm going to charge the same thing as it is a signing agent, and I'm going to pay a very high fee because as a signing agent, I love working with signing services that paid a high fee. Here's the problem. If you adopt that model and you have very little profit, you're not going to have any profit left over to grow your business. So if you want to hire team members, schedulers, salespeople, operations manager, and you want to compensate them well, you want to do profit sharing, you want to do bonuses, you want to give them benefits, 401k, medical, dental. Yes, I do all that at Superlative Signings. Paid time off, vacation. Yep, I do all that too. You're going to have profit to be able to do that. So think of the end in mind. If you're trying to create a business that's going to be big down the road, you want to have profits that will help support and sustain that. These are things I didn't know when I was starting my signing service, and I wish someone had told me, So what I can tell you is this. Let me give you an example. As an example, let's say you're going to invoice your client $150 for a seller pre-sign, for example, and you want to pay the notaries $100 because you want the best of the best notaries. Nothing wrong with that mindset of working with the best. We do that at Superlative Signings. However, the pricing is not that way, because we realize if I pay $100 to a notary and I invoice my client $150, that $50 left over, while it sounds nice on paper, is only 33% gross profit. That's not good, because there's still so many other costs that you don't realize until you become a signing service owner. So obviously, if I have a scheduler, I have to pay their salary and their payroll taxes and any of their benefits. I have to pay the signing order platform per transaction. When I go to pay the notaries, I can manually cut checks. I can have a bookkeeper do that. I can have signing order do that. There's a cost involved with that. I have my E&O insurance that costs to renew that every year. So there are a lot of different things that you're going to come into play as far as costs. So that will whittle that 33% profit down to a very small number, which will not allow for growth. And the problem is you can continue to grow, but as the profit gets smaller and smaller, you're going to have a great revenue number, but no profit. And you're just going to hate yourself at the end of the day, because you're going to be running around, growing the business, doing all the things, and not having the payoff of profit at the end. And you want as much profit as possible to share with your team, because the more profit you can share with your team, the more you can buy your time back, which is so critical. It may not seem that way now, but as you get older, I'm 42. I just turned 42 yesterday as I shoot this video. Today's February 6th, 2024. You're going to want your time back because that's the most limited resource you have, okay? You're going to want to spend it with your family, your friends, your spouse, your kids, your hobbies that you want to do, your self-development, your personal development, doing things you want to do. You're not going to want to be working all the freaking time. So this is the way to build that time in that time freedom you're looking for, is to have a great team in place and compensate them well. And to do that, you need profit. So think about that when you're coming up with pricing, okay? Now, as far as bonus number 2, the loan signing system offers a next level course. It's much more inexpensive than his 6-figure course. And this course specifically shows you how to start a signing service. So it has a lot of what I've covered and a lot of what I haven't covered in there as well. And is a lot of great value. I took the course when I started my signing service back in 2021 in March, and I loved it. It answered so many questions for me. Has a lot of live Q&A in there from other starting signing service owners. And Mark Wills, he talks about how he started his signing service, how he compensates his team, gives you templates on as far as how he runs his day-to-day. So highly informative information. If you're interested in taking that course, I highly recommend it. The link will be in the description of this video. Feel free to check it out. There's an affiliate link. If you don't, no worries, but there's a ton of value. I will tell you that. And number 3, operations manager. So I talked about briefly about getting your time back. The way I did it at Superlative Signings, my first scheduler was Ethan. Ethan I worked with at Panera Bread for years prior to that. I hired him as an employee and then eventually a shift manager. I left to start my own business, and then I hired him again as my first scheduler. And I had him start part-time, which you can do with that first scheduler. If you don't have enough volume at first, you can pay them part-time. Look, clock in and out for the hours you're actually working, or you can also have them do the scheduling and maybe some bookkeeping on the side, help you with social media, whatever. But there are ways, creative ways around to get that first scheduler on there part-time, to get them trained up and to give them the skills and trust. So as you scale, you can move them into a full-time role. That's what I did with Ethan. He started part-time, trained up. I only paid him for what he worked. And eventually we transitioned, as we grew the business, into full-time hours. And then we added more schedulers. Now, Ethan is our operations manager. So he works with our other schedulers, Kendra and Ashley, as of this filming, and make sure that all the operations are smooth from start to finish. So he handles, and his team handle from start to finish, all the orders coming in from our clients, all the requests from our clients, all the questions from our clients, getting the orders created, the notaries assigned and interviewed, the scan backs reviewed, fighting any small fires that come up on a day-to-day basis, and client customer service relations, handles all of that. And I compensate him with a profit split every month. I pay him a 10% profit split the end of every month, whatever we make, besides his salary. And that's how we're financially incentivized. So as the business grows and becomes more profitable, he is financially incentivized to do his thing, to make the business more profitable. And so that's what I would suggest for you. As you grow and scale, keep the end in mind. Who is going to run the day-to-day? Who is going to be your operations manager, your COO, Chief Operating Officer? It's going to run the day-to-day in place of you. That doesn't mean you're completely removed unless you want to be, and that's fine. Mark does the same thing. Mark has his operations head, he's got his marketing head, and he is fully removed, and he may meet with his operations head and marketing head maybe once a month or so. And I don't know his exact frequency, but point is he's fully removed because he's focusing on the loan signing system, Complete Notary Mentorship, and growing his team there. So you can make it a very passive, hands-off business. But to do that, think of the end in mind, have an operations role fleshed out, what that's going to encompass. Think about the sales side of things, think about the marketing side of things, think about who is going to handle your client relations, because as you get bigger, you don't want clients to slip through the cracks. You want to make sure that you are having FaceTime with them and showing appreciation and gratitude for them being a client. So who's going to take on these tasks? So think about all these things as you're growing and scaling your signing service business. So talked about a lot. I hope this has helped you a tremendous amount in starting your signing service. I'm sure you have other questions. Feel free to message me or comment below, and I will do my best to get back to you in a timely manner. Hope this has added a ton of value to you and it's helped you decide whether or not to start a signing service. If you are, comment below. That'd be awesome to hear if you are going to start a signing service. That way I can, help out if I can in any way. And I love giving back to the community, including the future signing service owners or current signing service owners that are just looking for tips, because we can all learn from each other. So appreciate you sticking to the end. You are the 1%. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. What are you waiting for? Come on, it's free. And we put out tons of notary content every single week. So come on back, hit the like, and turn on the notification bell so you're always aware of new content coming out on the channel. I appreciate you sticking around. And until the next video, guys, peace.